Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great. So about 24 hours ago, I put out a video regarding the Hope versus Ihedioha case, on which the Supreme Court is going to be making a decision on March the 2nd, which is just about 2 days away. So all through last night, I literally just couldn't sleep because I had this heavy burden in my spirit to put a video across to Hope Uzodimma, Senator Hope Uzodimma. Senator Hope Uzodimma, my name is Joseph Okechukwu, and I have been compelled to plead with you, You know, politicians have this awkward tendency of surrounding themselves with a lot of sycophants and people who tell them things they want to hear. Even so-called spiritual people around them fail to tell them the truth. But I have come here to tell you the truth because I am known to tell the truth a lot. It's like a garment I wear. And the truth of the matter, sir, my brother, is that the seat on which you sat the day you were declared the governor of Imo State has left. It has disappeared. In fact, it went downwards. It's gone. I don't say this to insult you. No. I'm not saying this to make you feel bad, no. And the seat did not leave because you are not qualified. It did not leave because you're not capable of being a governor. It did not leave because you were a sinner or anything, no. How many of us are without sin? No. The seat left because God said, I have changed my mind. Let's not make mistakes about this. When your seat came, something prompted your seat to emerge. It was the fact that Emeka had scores he needed to settle with his maker. And that's why your seat showed up. And funny enough, Emeka has been smart enough to settle those scores with his God. And God said, now I have changed my mind, I'm taking him back. And that's why I said in my last video that the mandate that has Emeka Ihedioha written on it has arrived in Imo State. It's not on its way to Imo State. It has arrived in Imo State. The mandate has a beautiful chair that it has come with. And the chair has Emeka's name on it. And that's the only chair that is in the government house right now. And so there is none for either you or your deputy. I remember when Emeka was kicked out of power, I made a video. You can check it out in the media. And I said, I wasn't even against you being the governor. I was simply saying, if Hope does not do what God wanted Emeka to do, that Hope will not finish. His deputy will finish while he is in the hospital. I said that. You know what I'm saying now at this time? God says, that opportunity is not there anymore. You have to accept this in good faith. The only seat of power that is in the government house of Imo State now, in the realms of the spirit, is the one that has Emeka Ihedioha's name written, engraved on it. You know, I wonder, where are all the prophets and seers? I don't know. Are they scared or what? I mean, because any prophet or seer who is worth his or her onions right now will see exactly what I am seeing. I don't mince words. I'm not scared of what the Supreme Court is going to do on Monday. I don't care. Why are you scared? You're scared that if you say the mind of God and the Supreme Court gives it to Hope, then people are going to say, oh, look, you said this is going to happen and it didn't happen. Who cares? Pharaoh was told the mind of God. Moses delivered the message as God gave him. And Pharaoh resisted. Did that invalidate the word of God spoken to Moses? No. People in authority have the right to reject the words of God. They have the right to clench their fists and go to war with God. But they only need to think about Pharaoh. They only need to think about Nebuchadnezzar. They need to think about all these characters who at one point or the other, at one point in time, have tried to challenge God. I am bringing you the word of truth without fear. without any atom of fear that the Lord has restored the seat of Emeka Ihedioha in the government house of Imo State, and that seat will reject any man born of a woman who would dare attempt to sit on it. That rejection could even culminate into something more deadly, and this is why it is instructive that you please stop listening to people who are trying to pit you against God. They want to place you on a collision course with the God of heaven. No man fights God and survives it. I'm pleading with you, my brother. Forget what has happened. Just let God have his way. This is no longer something coming out of a man's imagination. This is now a divine ordination that must not be tampered by the laws of men. And I am praying and hoping that the Supreme Court will do what is right. If you look at Emeka Ihedioha right now in the realms of the spirit, you can see he is the wish of the people and the will of God. How can any other party nullify that? Just imagine how suddenly the whole world is interested in Imo State. You don't know, because many of you don't know that the whole international community has come to a point where they're now planning and deciding on foreign intervention by force on Nigerian soil. And they are all waiting to see what will come out of Imo State to conclude or finalize on that decision. Many of you don't know that. I hope the Supreme Court will save our faces. We've had to deal with too much shame in this country called Nigeria, that this one would just be an icing on the cake of all the things we have gone through. And so, my brother Hope Uzodimma, I call you a brother because you are an Igbo man, you are my blood. I plead with you, let this thing rest. And I'm pleading with Emeka Ihedioha. When God has restored you, because you're going back to the government house, do not fight Hope Uzodimma. Do not fight anybody who had ganged up to fight you or to get you out. Don't fight anybody. In fact, on behalf of the Igbo nation, I am pleading with the federal government, because for people who understand the laws involved in this thing, they say that Hope is actually supposed to be jailed for what he had done because it was fraudulent. I am pleading on his behalf, and on behalf of the whole Igbo nation, I am asking the federal government, do not jail Hope Uzodimma. Please reward him instead with a ministerial post, maybe Minister of State or something. Give him something. Let him go scot-free. He has our mercy. God's mercy should find him too. Emeka, do not be vindictive. Don't go after anyone, neither Hope nor anybody close to him. Just face governance and make sure that as the Lord leads you, you deliver the dividends of democracy to the people who have waited fervently and prayed fervently for you to come back. Forget about Hope. Whatever Hope has done, we forgive him. I'm standing on behalf of the Igbo nation. We forgive you. But let this slide now, because this is the will of God. I hope you receive this message in good faith. And I want to tell you, I love you, but God loves you more. And I pray that our Lord judges will do justice on May the 2nd. Because if they don't, they have unleashed a massive curse and mayhem on Imo State. May God forbid.